horrible day here. I don't know about you.
Yes, it's all bouncing off my conservatory. It's horrible weather.
Oh,
it's a mixture down here, so you know.
Yeah.
Roller coaster, no change there.
Absolutely. It's quite sunny here.
Isn't it funny that people always talk about the weather, though, isn't it? We always do. It's a British thing. You know, if we lived in LA, we wouldn't be sitting here going, "Oh, it's sunny again today," would we?
No,
but if it rains even a little bit in LA, the whole place comes to a grinding halt because they can't deal with any rain. So we're very flexible, and it gives us something to talk about every day because there's nothing else at the moment.
Very true. Very true.
And then in the summer, if it's too hot, it's too hot. We need to know, Dee, how your little doggy is doing.
Do you want to say hello?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Oh, she keeps trying to say hello, actually, and she's obviously a born actress because she just tries to get her little face into the camera all the time. So say hi.
She's heaven.
Hi. She is
Hi, honey.
unbelievable. Sherry, how's your chihuahua, darling? May I ask?
That's a bit personal, Dee. That's so personal, Dee. You can't ask that question.
I know, that's me though, isn't it? All over. Personal.
I think Dee and Sherry, you said something very important, I think, a little while ago about your dish.
Yes.
Well, my dish did wobble this morning, and
could we have a little more? Could we have a little more clarity, please, when you say your dish, dear?
Yes.
I felt it. I felt it move. And
is that a first?
Oh, the dish is wobbling, and so I've had a little bit of trauma this morning. So I had to ring somebody to get some help with the dish.
What dish are we talking about, dear? Because I'm very confused, and so will our viewers be. When you say your dish, could you clarify, please? Matron,
that plugs in, whatever it's called.
You plug your dish in, dear.
Plugs in. Wow, we'll have to hear more about that.
I think we're delirious on a Monday, and if you can hear all the noise where I am here, the
Yeah.
whole world is about to collapse on my conservatory.
Yeah, is that rain, darling?
I don't know what else.
We need somebody to come in now and save us. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, actually, perhaps we have someone who might come in and save us. I think, because I've been watching so much television recently, and I'm kind of soaped out, that I think that we need Stephen Murphy to help us with what's going on. Steve, are you there? Hi, Steve.
Hello. Sorry, caught me by surprise.
No.
Steve, we keep talking. We've been talking about Sherry's dish moving, darling.
Oh dear.
What do you think about that?
I know.
Nothing worse.
I know.
No.
It's been going on for years, Stephen, but that's a story.
But Steve, she plugs her dish in. That's the important thing, Steve. She plugs her dish in.
Thought you'd like to know that, Steve.
Anyway, please save us because we need help.
Yes, my darling.
What's been going on with Corrie this week, Stephen?
Well, it was all the 60th last week. It was all very exciting. And we saw the end for Evil Jeff, finally, appropriately enough. Fell off the roof, and then the little chickens had a little peck at him, which was quite funny.
Yeah. Stephen, I thought that was such a great add-on.
I know, just a tiny little detail that just made it perfect, wasn't it?
It is, but you know, that's very Corrie, bringing a little tiny bit of comedy into the end of Jeff. And he's being scared by the poor chickens. Oh, I loved that moment.
Yeah,
but I don't know what's going to happen to Yasmin. You know what's going to happen to Yasmin now, but she's still very vulnerable, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's gonna have a little bit of sort of PTSD type stuff over this. So she's not gonna settle back into her life. She's gonna find it quite difficult to settle back in. She's gonna kind of be haunted a little bit, I suppose, in a mental sense.
Please don't tell me they're bringing back as a ghost.
No, nothing like that. But I just mean mentally that she'll be a little bit scarred by it, obviously, as she would be.
Yeah.
Kind of cop out though that he just fell off the roof, Steve. Couldn't they have done something dramatic, like slightly?
Well, I think the trouble is that they're a little bit limited what they can do at the moment in terms of stunts. There's only certain things they can do, really. I think so. I think this was quite. I think it was quite fun.
It is fun. Can you remember, Stephen, when little Mo hit her husband over the head?
Oh yes, Trevor with the iron.
Yes.
Yeah, she hit him with the iron.
Yeah.
Thought she killed him.
I loved it. I loved it. Well, she actually could have done something like that. She could have, I don't know, stuck a knitting needle in him or something.
Oh, like Tracy. Tracy did that, didn't she? With was it Charlie?
Really?
Oh. Was it Charlie?
That's very violent.
Tracy murdered someone. Tracy Barlow.
That was a big statue thing. Big silver statue thing.
How fabulous. Love it.
Those are quite violent, aren't they, Steve?
They can be quite violent. They can be 7:30. They are quite. You sometimes go, oh, that's a bit much. But yeah, they can have their violent moments. They're short shocks. It's quite hard to say.
So, Steve, Ian Bartholomew, he's done a rap, hasn't he? And a film.
He's certainly done a song. I'm not sure if it's rap or not, but he's done a song. He's an old musical theatre turn, is Ian. So you know, he's got a great voice. So he's written this song which they've done a video for, and all the proceeds go to charity to help abused women. So it's, you know, it's nice to do something kind of, you know, to give a bit back on the end of it and use the profile, I think.
Absolutely. He's got a great voice.
It might be quite cleansing for him, because I think he's found it all quite traumatic. Playing out these scenes, as you must do, coming in and being that horrible every day. It must be difficult.
You find the ones that are awful on screen obviously are sometimes completely polarizing in their personalities, don't you?
Oh yeah, often they're absolutely lovely. They're the nicest people you could care to meet.
Can I ask you first about Maisie, and what do you think of her on Strictly? Because she's been on EastEnders since she was 5, and now she's doing amazing. She's, you know, into the final, which is amazing. What are your thoughts on that?
I think she's brilliant. I think there's almost a chance that she's too brilliant, and the public think she's a little bit too confident, or a little bit sort of stage schooly. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes
she's quite vulnerable, actually, in the show.
I think they've seen that. I think the first few weeks they thought she was a little bit jazz hands, maybe. And actually, I think now they've seen the more vulnerable side of people. But I think sometimes if people are too confident, almost sometimes it kind of slightly goes against them. Because
I think what was wonderful is you suddenly see she's been able to play all these different characters as well, which actually is wonderful for her. So she's not just the little girl in EastEnders we've watched grow up. We've suddenly seen all these different characters, and also musical theatre, just saying. You know, it's always good to know you have a diversity. And you know, absolutely. We had the amazing John Altman in last week, and as we know, he's a terrible villain. I would like to know some of your villains, ending with your favourite, please, sir.
Villains wise, I mean, there's been so many. I think the first one to really sort of grab me actually was Alan Bradley in Coronation Street. I was quite young. I remember being quite shocked at how sort of brutal he was to Rita and all of that. It was the first one I really remember sort of following the story and sort of thinking, what a bad man.
And the tram, Stephen, the tram was fabulous, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yes, that was wonderful as well.
Who's next?
And then there's been, I mean, honestly, so many. But there's one in Hollyoaks called Silas, who turns up every 2 years, played by Jeff Rawle. Don't know if any of you ladies know Jeff Rawle. He's a great actor. He's a brilliant actor. And he turns up every couple of years, and he's obsessed by Mercedes in Hollyoaks, and he just turns up every couple of years, sort of completely unexpectedly, and gets away with it every time. He's brilliant. He's really, really good.
Stephen, is he back there now?
He's back there at the minute, yeah.
I thought he was.
Yeah, he's blackmailing the McQueen family over their 7 deadly sins. It's all quite camp. It's really fun. But I think my favourite, probably, I think because A, I think his performance was great, and B, I just think it was such a good story and took so many really good twists and turns, I think was Tricky Dicky in Coronation Street, Ryan Capron. Because that story ran for so long, and just it never got repetitive or tired. It just always had another little twist, another little manipulation that worked brilliantly.
And by the magic of Wonderbirds, Steve, can you magic him up for us?
I can bring him to you right now. Oh,
hello, welcome to our nest.
Steve, Brian won one of your awards, didn't he?
I think, were you best villain? I can't remember, Brian. I think you won best villain.
I've got so many, it's so difficult to remember.
I'm so sorry. It must be a nightmare for you. My heart goes out to you.
No, I did.
I'm so sorry.
Inside Soap, I think I've got 2.
I think you might be best villain and best actor, possibly.
Yeah, so something like that. Yeah.
Award-winning bad guy, Brian.
I'm so glad you both remember.
Award-winning.
Thank you, Steve. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Cheers, guys. Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You should be holding them up like that.
my wife makes me put them all in a box downstairs, and they come out on my birthday.
Oh.
I hope you are talking about your awards.
Yeah.
Not the bodies.
Oh, Brian, it's such a strange world, isn't it? And you know, the last time you and I were together was in a caravan.
Yes. I wasn't doing any murdering at all there, was I?
Well, nearly, but but didn't we have the best time ever on that caravanning show?
It was just fabulous. I think it was just a combination of people who got on, and we just had such a laugh. I mean, they're just lovely shows to do, but also, you know, hats off to the production company who just nice for us all as well. It was a lovely show to do. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And they're having to pull those caravans as well. I mean,
Yes.
well, I know Colin Baker, who I was with, smashed his caravan into many walls. But you were with Tony Blackburn, weren't you?
Yeah, no, it was lovely. Tony's just, I mean, I didn't know him as a friend before. I kind of knew him vaguely, but we got on so well. I mean, we had so many chats into the night, and we had one fantastic night, didn't we, where we all got drunk and did YMCA till about 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, I think something actually fell out of your caravan at one point.
Well,
Why did they not film this? Why did we not see this?
I think Sherry's got some of it on your phone, haven't you?
Well, I've got the best tape ever of Brian and Tony very, very drunk doing YMCA. And I've told them,
Can I see it?
threatened them both, that I will expose them both at any given time. It is the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen.
I think I might even have a better, more ridiculous thing. I have got Brian. Now, this is going from the sublime to the ridiculous. So Brian and I were set, last time we met, we were on a cruise ship together.
Going to Russia.
We went to Russia. That's another story. But Brian was singing, I've never seen anything like it. And I think the world's greatest soap serial killer was standing on the stage singing a song from Dr. Dolittle. Is this not true?
Yeah, it's a very long song too. It's about 5 or 6 minutes long, even on the version I did then. It's a very complicated song. And I love it. Was a lovely show and a wonderful thing, but it was so weird to do it on the ship because it was like a cabaret performance, whereas normally you're acting all out on stage with everybody, and suddenly I don't think I've ever picked up a mic and sang it like a cabaret performance. I was so nervous, but
it was so brilliant. We had so much fun. But Brian, I want to talk to you about my favourite ever Coronation Street death scene, which is what you had. Can you tell us about it? It was so brilliant.
But my death or anybody else's?
No, your death.
Yes. Well, in the car.
Yeah.
In the car canal. Well, yeah, but originally I went to see the producer, and they said, well, we worked out what your death's going to be in about 3 months' time or whatever. You're going to die. You're going to be in a car, and it's going to go in a canal. And I thought, oh my God, how boring is that? You know. And they actually got in a stunt team from the Bond movies, and oh my God, they did such a fantastic job on it. We used 5 cars, and of course the big thing that had never been done on soap, as far as I understood at the time, was the underwater shots. That was when the car goes in and goes underwater. I remember watching it with my wife, and she went, "My God, you're underwater!" And we shot for 2 days in a tank at Fleetwood, underwater with two different cars.
Wow.
And strange experience underwater because your eyes are closed and you're weighted down, otherwise you'll float, and then they count down to action on your fingers, and then you throw away your breathing. You've got apparatus, you throw that away, and then you kind of have like mad underwater, open your eyes. It was very exciting, and the way they shot it was just, well, of course it's been one of those scenes that's shown over and over again. Really, it's just a little old Ford car going into a canal, but it's.
Didn't they have to cut the top of the car off?
Yeah, well, when the car went in, because basically you have one car that's driving along normally, then just as it goes into the canal, that's another car that's been stripped of its gearbox and engine, and it's shot by a cannon underneath that goes up. And at that moment, you've got models inside the car just for a brief moment, and then you're in the drink. They didn't realise that the canal was too shallow, and it landed, and because you could see the roof, so they had to cut the roof off of another car and get divers underneath just to pull that bit underneath. So it's hilarious. But the amazing,
oh my God.
and of course you saw everyone escaping from it, and of course the worst thing was little Bethany was in the car, and they thought really cruel, so they had to get a shot of her asleep because they thought it'd be dreadful if I drove them off while she was awake.
Awful.
So they took about 2 hours to try and get her strapped in the back of the car until she nodded off and quickly got off.
Oh my God.
And when you see them getting to the top, coming out of the car, they got one shot of her, which was fantastic. She was swimming, you know, doggy paddle type thing, and I think her head went under and it came up, and it looked like she'd actually come up herself. Anyway, yeah, it was brilliant. It was
Brilliant.
a wonderful, wonderful ending.
Oh my God. That's
lovely.
Yeah.
That
was such a great moment, actually, in soap history. And I've got to ask you, Brian, of all the screen baddies that I've met, they're all gorgeous people, as I know you are. So why is that, do you think?
Well, I think most of my career, I've been playing kind of what you might call cheery, charming people. You know, I mean, I was a teacher in Grange Hill for 4 years who was the really nice teacher, you know. So I suppose it's the other side of that coin. It's the dark side of the cheery, charming type person. And of course, Richard Hillman was a bit of a charmer, but the other side was this dark side. And of course, as an actor, you love playing all that dark side. It's I mean, Richard Hillman was so beautifully written. It was just such an exciting thing to do. And I loved every minute of it, you know.
I was just going to say, you're so right. It's what actors do. And often people forget that you play different characters all the time. It's just how we're perceived as a charming person. And it's so wonderful to see the diversity of people's talent when they suddenly can play something else. It's fantastic. I wanted to ask you, what's next? How have you coped in lockdown? And what about your family? When did you start acting?
Well, I went to a grammar school, and we didn't, in those days, didn't have drama. It wasn't on the curriculum, but we used to do school play. And a feature of my career has been someone dropping out and then desperately looking around for someone to take them.
Perfect.
They were doing the Crucible at my school, and I went up to audition, and I didn't even get a part. My best friend got a part with one line, which I can remember now. The deputy governor's arrived, and I was so jealous he got this. And then suddenly the guy playing John Proctor, the main lead, he left school. And for some reason, my English teacher suggested me, and all the sixth form, I was in the fifth form then, the sixth form was so annoyed that they hadn't chosen anybody. Anyway, I played John Proctor, and I was so naive, and it was a wonderful production, you know, for a school.
Yeah.
And I didn't even
realize. And that started it.
Yeah, and I remember at the end when people, I didn't realise people applauded at the end, you know, I didn't even, and it came to the end, and then they applauded, and then someone pushed me forward, and then the applause increased, and I thought, oh my God, this is good, you know.
Wow.
So anyway,
and from that moment on, hooked.
Yeah, and then I went to drama, luckily got into a drama school. My friend was interested in acting, and we didn't know anything about drama school, never heard of what that was. I was just from a council estate in Staines, you know. And it was fantastic.
How have you coped in lockdown, darling? What's been happening?
Well, no, not a lot really. I mean, it's been tricky, but you know, I feel lucky. I've been, you know, well, Sherry and I we've known each other since I think 1970, so I've been doing it for 50 years.
1920 then.
But,
yeah,
because Sherry came down to the rep that I was in at the Northcote Theatre, is where I started, and
yes, and we all know why.
We all know why. Certain Mr. Robert Lindsay was involved.
Yes.
Ew.
Let's not go there.
What about your family, darling? Are your family involved? Your kids and things? How many children have you got?
Well,
what are they doing?
I've got two children, two daughters and one son, and my two daughters. My oldest daughter, Lucy, she wanted to be an actress, but I persuaded her not to be, and so she went to she went to Wimbledon Art School in the end, and she did costume. And she works on This Morning. She looks after the
brilliant.
Oh,
She's
A lovely girl.
It's a lovely job for her because she's involved in the business, but not having to be an actress with all the
Perfect.
out of work.
She's very good.
My other daughter Ellie has she's done a bit of acting, got trained, and she's kind of gone off and done other things. But sadly, she got breast cancer last year, and it was stage 3, and we were very, very worried about her, and we've gone through a lot with her. But she's fantastic. She's come through it. You know, she did it. She had all the treatments and everything, and she's actually kind of, you know, she looked. You know, we had coffee the other day. All my family live in Brighton. She's doing very well, bless her heart. You know, she's been very brave, and it's a hell of a thing. I'm sure we've all known people.
Yes.
But
I'm ambassador for the breast cancer charity, the Moonwalk, Walk the Walk, which is a massive 15,000 women, and I've been ambassador for them for a while. So we walk every year.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful what they do. And in Brighton, where I live, we're very lucky. It's a very coordinated situation with breast cancers, and the treatment has been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm really glad that obviously this year would have been much harder with the COVID situation, but she's had all, you know, the radio, the chemo, all of that, but she has these injections now because it's estrogen driven. So, but bless, she's been wonderful. And then my son is living back home at the moment with his girlfriend, and we've kind of converted a little flat upstairs, and thank God he's here to help me with this. But he's working for a charity from home, which is great, so he can work from home. And his girlfriend Becca is a secondary school English teacher, and she's working in a local school. So
amazing. So tell me, just before we finish, what is next for you?
Well, I should have been doing Panto, which I've done every year for so many years, and it's been so disappointing not to do it this year at the lovely Stockport Plaza, which is a beautiful Art Deco theatre. But it's been postponed till next year, so we're doing it next year. So I'm looking for. So I know that that's there.
You've got a job for next year. That's fantastic.
That is good.
And you know, I'm getting on a bit now. You know, 74 next birthday. So you know,
Brian,
darling, ever useful.
I mean,
Ever useful.
You look 20 years younger than that. I've always said that to you.
But
You
if anyone
do.
told me I'd be on stage at 74, you'd never believe it, would you? So I'm looking forward to that. And anything else that happens to come along, you know.
Will you please come back and see us again soon?
Yeah, I'd love to. Love you all. Lovely to talk to you all.
Miss you, Brian. Lovely to see you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
It's so extraordinary when you hear the reality of somebody's life and all the highs and lows that they go through.
I know. And when you think about grade 3 breast cancer and the recovery now, it's so promising, isn't it? Because at one point it would be it, but now so many people are recovering. It's wonderful. Yeah.
But not everybody's getting the treatment that they need.
Anyway, guys, Wednesday. Is today Monday?
Yes, dear.
It is. Today's Monday.
Matron.
What's happening on Wednesday?
The most amazing person ever is coming in, and it's Susie Quattro.
Wow.
I mean, we all have watched her, know her music. I mean, even in Happy Days, I don't know if you remember her in Happy Days.
Yes.
As acting, I just think she is just sensational. And she is coming in on Wednesday, so don't miss that, everybody at home. Don't
watch it. And who else have we got? Who else
we've got? We've got my friend Golan Ramraz. He used to be the head of Marvel acquisitions, and he's a bit of a Hollywood mogul, but he's not really that scary. He's working with ladies in film, women in film, and he's going to come and talk to us about that.
He's coming to audition us.
Yes.
When you say working with ladies in film, darling, what kind of films are we talking about?
Yes, well, he will tell you, darling. He will tell you.
Uh-oh. I think I need a lot of surgery. That's all I'm saying.
So do Harriet.
Oh, no,
Harriet's got a nice surprise for all of our viewers, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Today, we are starting our wonderful messages from all our friends and our guests who are saying Merry Christmas.
Hi Wonderbirds, it's me, Auntie Doc, with my dog in the papoose. We're outside following all COVID restrictions. City is minus 142 right now. The dog is attached to my breast, but I just want to wish every single one of you a very, very Merry Christmas. And to every single person that's tuned in to watch this incredible show, keep on tuning in. They're amazing. You're amazing. Bon Noel.
Hello Wonderbirds, it's the Wonderbirds. Happy Christmas to you all, and thanks for having me on the show. It was great fun during lockdown. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. A great time had by all. No, let me speak. No snowball fights, plenty mince pies, and a good old dram to wash it all down. Merry Christmas to you all, lots of love. Bye!
Hey, it's H from Steps here, just wishing the Wonderbirds a fabulous Christmas. Have a fantastic one, girls. Mwah.
Season's greetings from Guadeloupe. Just a little message from me, Karen Bryson, wishing all of you Wonderbirds and Wonderbirds viewers a very Merry Christmas.